How good would Alexander Ovechkin perform if we took away his shot? Let's find out. It's safe to say that Alexander Ovechkin is one of, if not the best shooter in NHL history. Rocking a 96 slap shot and a 95 wrist shot in NHL 22. We're going to sim one season with his vanilla stats, see how he does, and then we're going to take all of his shooting abilities away down to 0, or the equivalent of 0 in this game, which is 36. Then sim another season and compare the stats. He will also be supported by the current Washington Capitals roster, even though they're $6 million over the cap space, so something obviously has to change. Not sure exactly how they're going to do that though, but we have to wait and see. This is also a mini test to see how Darcy Kemper is going to perform on Washington as well. First sim, he has his max shooting abilities. Second sim, he's going to have 0. So I'll see you at the end of year number 1. Year number 1, we finished first in the division, 47-29-6 record, racking up 100 points. And Ovechkin absolutely popped off with 54 goals, 37 assists, and 91 points. First on the team by far in both those categories. The closest to him in scoring was TJ Oshie with 27, literally half his number. And then Backstrom was the closest in points with 72. And if you're wondering, Kemper won 40 of 68 games played, 3 shutouts, a .906 save percentage, and a 2.76 goals against average. These numbers were good enough to make Ovechkin 7th in the league for points and 1st in the league for goals. Kucherov being the closest with 46, Stamkos and Kane dropping 44, Matthews dropping 43, Besser with 42, and then Patrick Laine being the last 40 goal scorer. And our first round playoff opponents are the Ottawa Senators. We should be able to beat them, no problem. I could be wrong. We do take 1-L. We're up 2-1 after the first 3 games. Make it 3-1 with a 5-2 victory in game number 4. And in game number 5, we don't close it out. They steal a game 5-3. They're still alive. We can't get too confident. We definitely can't get too confident. We're down 6-4 in game number 6, which means game 7, you know what to do. Please beat Ottawa. We beat Ottawa 3-2 in game 7. It was really close, closer than I'd like it to be. I'm pretty sure that is the new and improved Ottawa roster. So they battled, they almost beat us, but we clung on. And we're moving on to the second round to face Columbus. And this definitely is the new Columbus roster, so let's see if we can deal with them. We lose, we lose, we lose. We definitely can't deal with them. Okay, good to know. Laine and Goodrow are eating us alive. Is it a sweep? It sure is. We get swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the second round. We're just going to sim real quick, see who won the cup, and then we'll go over the playoff stats. I don't even know if we're going to make the playoffs in year number 2, because Ovi's going to go from like 50 goals to probably 0. I'm actually curious to see how many he scores. Stanley Cup champions, Vancouver Canucks. And Ovechkin leads the team in goals with 6. Closest was Mantha with 4, and a bunch of people with 3. And as for points, I believe he also led with 8. That is correct. Hathaway dropped 7 points. Oshie as well dropping 7 points. Eller and Backstrom with 6. And Darcy Kemper under 900 save percentage, rocking that 890. And then at 3.4 goals against average. Not what we wanted to see at all. And Lindgren, we played him for 12 minutes and he got a shutout in that time. So good for him, I guess. Captured all the data for year number 1. Peak Ovechkin. And now we're going to take away all of his shooting ability and run it back. So I'll see you at the end of year number 2. Okay, but first we have to talk about how drastic his overall changes. When we take away his shooting, I also took away his superstar abilities that involve shooting. He had Shock and Awe, Schneip, and then obviously Gold 1T. Those are gone, as well as all of his shooting stats. As you can see, 36 is the lowest you can drop it, so that's basically considered 0 in this game. Not only that, his overall went from 93 overall to 77. That is absolutely crazy. There's no way he scores, right? Like, how can you score with absolutely no shooting? I'm keeping him on the first line to give him a chance. We might do a third and final sim with him on like the third line to see how they perform. I guess this is a great test to see how much the shooting attribute actually matters as well. Unsurprisingly, our team took a huge hit from this. Sadly, we did not make the playoffs. I really wanted to. It did not happen. We were only 4 points out. We finished with a 36, 35, and 11 record. 83 points. We had 100 points at the end of the first season. This somehow made Lars Eller our leading point getter with 54, 51 for Kuznetsov, 50 for Wilson. Our goal scoring leader was Kuznetsov with 25. Lars Eller dropping 20. And there's the man. There he is. 0 shooting stats. He went from 54 goals, 37 assists for 91 points to 4 goals, 43 assists, and 47 points, losing 50 goals from year number 1 to year number 2. And this is playing on the best line. Best possible help he can get from his teammates. He could still only drop 4 goals. Was that worst on the team? That is what I'd like to know. It absolutely was. Matt Irwin was able to net more goals than Alexander Ovechkin. He has no shooting ability. Literally zero. Literally the closest you can get to zero in this game. Alexander Ovechkin shot right now. No abilities on it either. Still managed to get 4. If you're wondering who had the least amount of goals, it was Braun and Lindstrom because they got literally 0. But Ovechkin, he's actually kind of up there. There's a lot of people who only got 1 and 2, and we didn't even get to 3 yet. Yeah, he's fine. He's up there with the greats now in goal scoring history, like Suster, Andre Schuster. Remember him? I'm just sad we didn't make the playoffs. I might do one more year with him on the 4th line and see if he can score 1 goal. I kind of want to see if we can get Ovechkin to score 0 goals. I think that would be kind of funny and the most unrealistic thing of all time. But who's winning the cup in our second sim? Vancouver won the first one. We're getting, drumroll please, Carolina Hurricanes. Why not? Spice it up a bit. Yeah, I'm going to run one more sim. We're going to put him on the 4th line. We're going to see if it holds him to 0 goals. Well, so much for making the playoffs. 30, 44, and 8 record. 68 points, our worst year by far. I also want to point out that just changing Ovechkin's shooting stats drops Washington overall from an 88 down to an 85. So just taking away Ovechkin's shooting stats drops the whole team's stats down by 3 total. Hey, at least we're actually getting consistency. Even on the 4th line, he dropped 4 goals. He just got way less points, only getting 15 assists for 19 points. This is like Ovechkin if he's playing at 50. And even then, he's probably dropping more, let's be honest. Mantha ends up being our top point getter with 62 and our top goal scorer with 31. Connor Brown was pretty close, 29 goals. And then Kuznetsov and Backstrom also had 60. Can't imagine Kemper did too hot. Definitely not the best. 28 wins in 69 games played. Only 2 wins for Lindgren in 16 games played. A 9.06 save percentage and a 2.98 goals against average. So what did we learn today? The shooting stat definitely matters for scoring in Sims, which is great because it obviously should. And that not even Alexander Ovechkin can escape a poor performance when we take away shooting. The goal scoring isn't built into the name. It's all in the attributes. I mean, makes sense, obviously. But when we took away McDavid's speed, that didn't matter much at all. I don't know if you saw that or not. But it really didn't change his performance. He, in fact, did better on the 3rd line with no speed compared to the first year on the 1st line with speed. It was friggin' weird. What's not friggin' weird, Tampa Bay won the cup. Not a very big surprise, not exactly what I wanted to look at again, but here we are. Slowly moving through every attribute and the star at that attribute and seeing which one matters the most. Shooting definitely outweighs speed. That's what we learned today, at least in Sims. You could say the complete opposite when playing online, debatably. But in terms of Sims, right now, if we're doing a ranking, we got shooting at number 1 and speed at number 2. I believe that's all I can do here. It's a little short video, a little bit of a science experiment. Pretty sure the next attribute I'm going for is everything to do with hands, dangling, and all that stuff. I already have the person in question that I'm going to use. You guys can try and guess down below if you want. I definitely know who I'm going to use for that. But we're done here. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.